In the early days of the Tokugawa shogunate, Nijo Castle was a place for the shogun to stay on his way to the capital. It's been a while since a shogun actually stayed in it, though. We'd met the shogun on the road and begun our escort about 30 minutes earlier, and arrived at the castle relatively recently. By now, I imagine, Kondo, Nagakura, Inoue, and the men were greeting the officials and other important people in the shogun's retinue. Well, I've got a job to do too. It was my job to tell soldiers when to change shifts and to carry messages back and forth. A glorified errand girl, in other words. I don't see myself as being useless, though. I think. I've come with a message. Ah, you.
What, you're the messenger? This isn't the playground, you know.
Well, I'm not here to play.
Huh. Is that so? Then what could someone like you, who can't even use a sword, do for anyone?
I've come here to do what I can do. Would you mind if we stopped playing games?
Speak.
The chief is currently going around paying his respects to the people in the castle. Everyone else continue with the guard.
Message received.
Huh? That's it? It's that simple?
What's up with your dumb face? Surprised I listened to your message.
Oh, well, no,
A job is a job. I don't plan on making it personal. Alright, you've delivered your message. Get out of here.
Okay. Miki and I never really got on the best of terms, but maybe he's a responsible person. He's got great fashion sense. After he shooed me away, I continued attending to my duties as a messenger. In the surroundings of Nijo Castle, I can see the warriors wearing a white uniform which was different than the afternoon uniform. They don't seem too nervous, but I guess it makes sense. Some of the imperial nationalist extremists were driven out of Kyoto, and many warriors fled. There's no way anything would happen. Oh, that guy. A sudden chill ran down the length of my spine. I froze. I knew the feeling. A length of cold steel seeking entry into your flesh. Eyes shining with a lust for blood and violence. Since I'd begun living with the Shinsengumi, I felt it more than once. Bloodlust. My eyes were drawn to the roof where no one would think to look. A large wall cast a shadow, shielding a section of the roof from the moonlight. There they stood. How did we know? Oh boy, there's a dangerous trio. You!
So, you've noticed us. Not too slow, then.
They looked very distinctive, unlike any soldiers I'd seen before, but 3 sets of piercing eyes scattered my thoughts, making it hard to think. I had recognized them, and now I had to put names to faces. Shouldn't we, inform somebody? Chikage Kazuma. A man with ties to the Satsuma domain. He claims to be a demon, and he has a very specific interest in the heroine. Okay. Color me intrigued. Kyuja Magiri. A mysterious person involved with the Satsuma domain. He claims to be a demon. I actually never read your first one. Let me just put this epic music in the back. Okay. I've already forgotten what his name is. Hold on. What's your name again? Kyuju. Sorry, Kyuju. I haven't had much time with you, so you'll have to excuse me. Yeah, the first one. A highly skilled individual connected to the Satsuma domain. He specializes in bare-handed combat, and he possesses power and skill above many members of the Shinsengumi. Slightly terrifying. Kyo Shiranui. A person who associates himself with the Choshu domain, he claims to be a demon. Alright, all you demons. That's enough out of you. Pretty terrified of these guys, gotta admit. They were connected to both the Satsuma and the Choshu, and they'd made an effort to impede the Shinsengumi at Ikeda, and again at Hamaguri. Why are you here?
You mean, how did we get here, right? Well, the answer is simple. Man-made obstacles like these are shit to a demon.
We are here for a specific purpose. That purpose is you, Chizuru Yukimura. We are here for you.
What? My heart was pounding so hard it could burst. Why do these men know my name? Probably because they have your dad. I don't understand. A demon? What do you mean? And what are you here for? No, you must be joking!
How can you ask what a demon is? Perhaps you're the one joking here.
Am I a demon? He stepped forward, cloaked in shadows. When Amagiri spoke, it was calm and peaceful, as if he were reasoning with a frightened child.
Do your injuries heal quickly?
Yep. I held my breath.
Do you heal from injuries faster than any human could?
How does he know my secret? I've never revealed it to anyone before. Well, Words struggled to come to mind, and just as I was about to deny their accusations...
What the hell? Maybe it'll be quicker if we just give her a demonstration.
Shiranui's gun glistened eerily.
Shiranui, do you really intend on injuring such a rare female demon?
Oh boy, I'm a rarity.
Hey, don't tell me what to do. The kid's being stubborn, so what can I do?
After Kazuma glared at Shiranui, his eyes drifted towards the Kodachi on my hip again.
You don't need words. Her family name is a demon's, and she carries the demon of the East Kodachi. This is enough proof.
Oh, Demon of the East, eh? My family name? What was wrong with Yukimura? I didn't understand what he was saying, and the cold sweat started inching down my spine.
Then again, it isn't as though we need your permission to kidnap you.
Aw man, come on, I knew I should have stayed home.
Female demons are rare. Now come with me.
His hand stretched out from the darkness, pale and grasping like the tentacle of some hideous subterranean monster. Who saved me. Then a blade flickered through the night. Hey!
Whoa there, pal. Trying to pick up chicks in a back alley. That's not creepy at all. You again. The culture and the nose of a dog, I see. One could say the same of you.
Harada! Sayato! My legs almost collapsed, as if the now shattered tension was the only thing keeping me standing. I teetered backwards, my balance momentarily lost. A strong, sinewy hand caught me and pulled me back, its grip hard as steel. Hijikata!
Stay back.
Hijikata. One hand guided me around behind him, even as the other drew his sword. There's gonna be a showdown. I figured you were here for the Shogun's head. What do you want from a kid? I've little interest in you or the Shogun right now. The matter at hand concerns only us demons. Stronger and more powerful than humans, they have rapid healing powers. Chikage Kazuma, Kyo Shiranui, and Kyuju Amagiri are among their number. And apparently me? Demons. His eyes narrowed. Hijikata seemed perplexed by Kazuma's statement, as if contemplating the possibility of its truth. Huh.
Haven't seen these punks since Hamaguri.
I guess we're faded, huh? Doesn't make me particularly happy.
True, though I feel little at this reunion.
So you are going to be in our way, then.
The tension was so thick in the air that I could scarcely breathe. They were a powder keg, ready to explode. Even the slightest movement could set them off. It wasn't like I could do much. But I still wanted to help them, so I grabbed my sword. Whoa. Oh yeah, Suzumu, I haven't seen you in forever.
Don't worry about the commander and the captains.
Yamazaki? When did you...
I've been ordered to return you to headquarters.
Then... you're telling me to run away? Also, are you a ninja?
Exactly. Even if you were here, there would be nothing you could do.
I mean, he may be right, but... Yeah, retreat is the option, I think, right now. It got me back safely. Even as I ran back to the headquarters with Yamazaki, I couldn't shake the fear in my heart. When I finally got to the compounds, I still felt nervous, and I could do nothing but stare into the blank darkness behind me.
You're fine now. I'm sure they can't follow you here.
Yeah, but they're demons. But...
I feel really bad saying this when you're worried, but I must return to the commander. If everyone is out to protect the Shogun, then most of the warriors aren't going to be here. I think it's most safe for you to be with Okita or Todo.
Okay. Understood.
Well, I'll leave the rest to you.
With that, he disappeared back into the darkness. Suddenly, the night felt very quiet. The word demon echoed through my head, and their faces floated in front of my eyes. I shook my head. As the temple came back into focus, I felt very, very alone. As Yamazaki said, I should go find Okita or Hisuke. But whom should I look for? Okita, of course. He's like, what? Huh? Chizuru? Okita looked up from cleaning his sword as I entered the hall. Weren't you at Nijo Castle? What are you doing here? What are you doing here alone? Well, Oh, I know. You get in trouble. I bet Hijikata sent you back here, huh? Yeah, something like that. Why aren't we just telling him there's 3 demon boys after me and you should probably be ready in case they show up? You know, when you respond with such a pouty face like that, it's no fun for me to poke all my fun at you. Alright, you better tell me what happened. Well... Still feeling upset, I told Okita about the incident that had unfolded in Nijo Castle. Thankfully. The minute I mentioned Kazuma's name, Okita's eyes lit up. I see. Chikage Kazuma. He was there, huh? If only I'd known they were going to show up. No way Kondo could have kept me here. What? Of course he could have! No! You're sick! Hijikata told you to rest! Oh, shut up, will you? It's all your fault. The medicine you gave me totally doesn't work. Okita! For just a moment, all colors but one faded away. Okay, you have more than just a cold, sir. I forgot about demons and castles upon seeing one thing, the sickly red splatter across Okita's hand and mouth. Are you okay? I'll go get someone. Heisuke! No! His voice was rough and strained, but filled with unexpected rage. He wiped the blood from his mouth and glared at me over the top of his hand. From under his bangs, his eyes, burning with anger, nailed me to the floor. Forget about what you just saw. It's nothing. Just hurt my throat. Back when I was in Edo, I was helping my father out at his clinic. There were a few times where I'd see patients who'd cough up blood from coughing too much. But what I just saw was something else. Okita? Did you not hear me just now? I told you to forget about it. He was so adamant about me not helping him, so it was difficult to know how to react. What could I tell him? Oops. I'm like, I can tell him that I will save. Oh boy. Why does it do this? He's just gonna get angry if I push the point. So, I won't tell anyone for now. I won't tell anyone. But please, for me, get some rest today. Please. Ah, I have chosen wisely. Thank you. Besides, probably couldn't make it to Nijo in time anyway. Ugh, seriously bad timing. He grumbled and complained like a child, but before long I'd convinced him to lay down and rest. What are we gonna do for you? The words of the men who claimed to be demons lingered in my heart. There were so many things for me to be worried about. However, more than any of that, I was just worried about the man sick in front of me. Aww. I continued to eye Okita, who slept with his back faced towards me as I watched the dawn slowly emerge through the long, cold night. I wonder what happened. Since then, once the rest of the men returned, there was a meeting among the captains. The subject of that meeting was the three men at Nijo Castle, Chikage Kazuma, Kyujo Amagiri, and Kyo Shiranui. They called themselves demons, and their previous encounters with the Shinsengumi suggested they were somehow involved with the Satsuma and Choshu. The Satsuma were the most powerful domain in the opposition domain, and the Choshu are publicly expressive of their dissent towards the shogunate. A domain governed by one of the opposition daimyo. The Choshu are essentially enemies of the court. I don't know how the three men are supposedly affiliated with the domains, but it was abundantly clear they are not to be dealt with carelessly. There was another problem, however. Why had they come for me? They said I was one of them, and knew about my family name and my Kodachi. But how? My name is Chizuru Yukimura. I am the daughter of my father and my mother. Well said. I am a normal girl, nothing out of the ordinary. But who am I? More than you appear to be, it would seem. Wasn't it June 1865 already? Am I crazy? Is it later June? June 1864? I don't know where I am anymore. The compound was alive with noise and movement. I passed several soldiers in the halls, each one of them excited about something. What was going on? Run, 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 run. Oh.
This is unconscionable. Never in all my...
Ito? Is something wrong?
Yes, I say everything is wrong. Why should I be made to bear my skin in the same room as those savages?
Ito's explanation was useless. I was completely confused. Is there something going on today? Ito did his best to collect himself, shakily adjusting his hair and clothing before he spoke.
Someone claiming to be a doctor whom Kondo met on his visit to the Shogun has arrived. He is conducting physical examinations.
Oh no, I'm screwed. Is this gonna be the, Oran episode where they had to pretend, they had to get like a special doctor in for me so that no one knows I'm a lady? Because this is gonna be a bit of trouble. With a disdainful sniff, he glared pointedly across the hall towards the area he'd just left. The men were getting physical checkups, that much I knew. Given my particular situation, I'd been exempted by the captains, who also gave me special instructions to stay away. Phew. Okay, they've already thought of this.
That hairless monster! That doctor! He demanded I remove my clothes in front of everyone! When I refused, as any decent man would, he tried to remove them himself! By force! And the rest of them just stood there! What sort of uncultured savages are they?
Savages seemed a bit strong. He's very upset. At any rate, perhaps I should go see just what a physical entailed. I was a doctor's daughter, after all. What are you doing? Don't you dare go there. What's this doctor's name?
I believe he called himself Ryojin Matsumoto.
We were looking for that guy years ago. What? Wait. Dr. Matsumoto?
What's up with that reaction? Do you know him?
When I first came to Kyoto, my plan was to find Dr. Matsumoto. My father told me that I could rely on the man if I ever needed anything. Unfortunately, he was away on business when I'd arrived, and after that... I'm going to go watch the physical exams. There was no time to waste.
Oh my. So you want to see those savages? What peculiar taste.
You'll never get it. Don't go in when one of the guys is naked, girl. Otherwise you won't be able to get married, okay? Is this it? I could hear loud voices from inside. Girl, do you not ever think before you do things? Oh! The scene froze me in place.
Alright, next.
Oh no.
Alas, my turn! Check this out, Doctor.
Chest!
What do you think? You're looking at the amazing product of years of training.
Your body's fine, Shin. I think it's your head the doctor ought to be taking a look at.
What's that? You say you want me to beat the daylight out of you?
You're fine, Shinpachi Nagakura. Now get. Next.
Whoa, hold on there, Doc. You gotta get a good look at this.
No, you're quite fine. Healthy as a horse. And I've seen quite enough, thank you.
Oh, at least they have their bottoms on. Thank goodness. Hajime in the background looking so unimpressed.
You're holding up the line, Shinpachi. Get moving, okay? I'm just saying, I don't really think you've had time to fully examine. Don't you want to order a slice of this beefcake? I got 2 meaty servings on a plate, right here. A medical examination is for finding problems, not showing off. Now move.
It wasn't difficult to see why Ito was desperate to escape. I couldn't imagine him as part of such a display. Well, I'm glad you guys all had fun. What should I do? I feel like it's rude to intrude. Yeah, you should have thought of that earlier. Oh, hey!
Yukimura, what are you doing here? Is something the matter?
Oh, Yamazaki, hello. I heard that Dr. Matsumoto was here. Yamazaki didn't look like he was in the mood to tolerate my snooping, so he went to the point.
I see. I take it you aim to speak with him, huh? I have been briefed on everything regarding your situation. I think I know what you're doing. However, the physicals are taking some time. Will you leave this to me?
What should I do? Yeah, that's fine. There's nobody in there that I need to examine more closely right now, so thank you. Yes, please. Are you sure? Then, yes, please do so.
Got it. Please excuse me.
A lifesaver. Yamazaki went over to Dr. Matsumoto.
Pardon me, Dr. Matsumoto. Please allow me to look after those whose symptoms are minor. Why not take a little break? I'll take you up on your offer.
I waited outside for Dr. Matsumoto until he stepped out of the examination room. Excuse me?
Yes.
He looked at me for a moment, his eyes narrowed in curiosity.
I need to fetch some more medicine, so maybe it's a good time for a break. Can you give me a hand?
Oh, yes, of course. What luck? Nice. Nice. Maybe we can get some answers. Dr. Matsumoto.
Oh, Doctor. Hello, Yukimura.
Oh, hi, Kondo.
I see you found her already. Yes, thanks to you.
What? I was utterly lost. Dr. Matsumoto laid a gentle hand on my shoulder.
Chizuru, I came here to see you. Kondo told me that Kodo's daughter was staying with the Shinsengumi.
Oh, I see.
I knew Kodo and Matsumoto were acquaintances, so I thought perhaps Matsumoto might be able to give us a clue as to his friend's whereabouts. I looked him up as soon as he returned to Kyoto.
The Shinsengumi had their own reasons for wanting my father found, but Dr. Matsumoto's appearance was still cause for joy. Thank you, both of you. They smiled. Dr. Matsumoto then explained he had just barely missed me when he left for Edo as I came to Kyoto. He'd received all my letters, but once he finally returned, he had no idea where I was and consequently couldn't find me.
I'm sorry that I missed you. You must have had a rough time of it. Is there anything you need?
No, I'm doing all right. So, Dr. Matsumoto, about my father. His face took on a grim cast, and before he even spoke, I knew what his response would be.
Unfortunately, I know no more about where Kodo might be than you do.
I see. The defeated tone of my voice surprised me. I suppose on some level I believe Dr. Matsumoto had some miraculous revelation about my father. Foolish of me, of course, but that didn't make the truth any less devastating. Kondo simply nodded.
I hear you've become involved with the treatment. You know what I mean, don't you? Kodo's experiments.
Yes, I knew what he meant. The experiments my father conducted with some strange concoction that could make people go mad. Please, tell me about it. I want to know everything my father was doing. He nodded.
Kodo was working with the Shinsengumi under orders from the Shogun to create what were called Furies. Furies are humans with nigh demonic strength and speed, and phenomenal healing abilities.
A creature with heightened speed and strength, as well as the ability to heal from almost any wound. One can only be killed by a stab wound through the heart or by having its head removed. Interesting. Furies. This term seems so familiar, then I realized I'd overheard some of the men talking about it. Long time ago.
Don't jinx him, Souji. It's gonna look bad if officers start joining the Furies.
Oh, so Furies come from something you drank where any injuries could be cured.
The Furies that Heisuke spoke about are meant to be pitied.
The substance that transforms normal men into these Furies is called the Water of Life.
That thing. A substance imported from the West that turns those who drink it into Furies. Until refined by Kodo Yukimura, it was too toxic to use. It came from the West? And I have a sword from the East?
In China, they call it Senton. In short, it grants immortality.
Furies. Water of life. It sounded more like something from a fairy tale rather than real life. but there was something in Dr. Matsumoto's tone of voice that said he was telling the truth. Not to mention what we've seen with our own eyes, girl. I've already heard about how it makes you strong and hard to kill. But doesn't it cause so much pain that it makes most people go crazy? And even if you survive that, then even the smell of blood can make you go crazy again. Dr. Matsumoto nodded slowly, then pinched the bridge of his nose with thumb and forefinger. He looked very tired.
So you know about that too?
Yes. Unfortunately. They were human, but not human. Perhaps they were almost entirely different now. I couldn't see how this water of life could ever be used for good. Even if it had healed Sanon's arm, he'd suffered greatly in the process. Why? It sounded more like a moan than a question. My father would never want to ruin the life of another, but because of what he'd done, people suffered, and some even died. Why was my father doing this? But it wasn't just my father. I was sure no one involved expected such a terrible outcome.
Perhaps that is why Kodo left. His conscience would no longer allow him to continue.
But the water of life was an opportunity given to us by the Shogun to help strengthen the Shinsengumi.
The doctor only shook his head.
It was an experiment, and it has failed. You should put it behind you. I'm sure the Shogunate has abandoned it as well.
Kondo frowned, perhaps unhappy that Dr. Matsumoto would question the Shogunate's original decision.
You've seen what happened to the men it was tested on, Kondo. It cannot be allowed to continue. This experiment is inhumane, and you know it.
Kondo gave a non-committal grunt and fell silent. I was sure Kondo knew just how dangerous it was to use the water of life, but the Shogunate had come to him with a request. Perhaps he couldn't refuse, even if he wanted to. Silence fell like a thick blanket.
I understand that you are the Shogunate's designated doctor, but you are not one of us. An outsider has no right to object.
Sanon? His face was pale as moonlight, as if he was a walking corpse. Is it okay for you to be up right now?
Shouldn't you be resting, Sanon? You look pale.
Don't worry about me.
He bowed quickly, his mouth a compressed line, and turned to regard the doctor with a cool gaze.
We use this treatment effectively and at our own discretion.
It's dangerous and far too strong.
We have continued Kodo's research. I am, as you can see, living proof, so to speak.
As Sanon did indeed prove, it was possible to drink the water of life and retain your sanity. It just wasn't easy. Perhaps you're right. But that could also mean that you're forcing your body in ways the eyes can't see.
I am perfectly healthy. I respectfully disagree. With continued research and modification, we will have many more successes and fewer casualties.
Do you plan on sacrificing more of your men in order to have more successes? Using your men to experiment with things that put them in danger comes off as a disregard for life. It's a disgrace.
The men who gave their lives are the foundation of our work. They did not die in vain.
But...
Alright, that's enough. From both of you. Why don't we discuss this some other time?
It was my private opinion that they were unlikely to agree, no matter what time they discussed the subject, but I thought it was polite to keep quiet.
Very well.
There seemed to be very little common ground between them, but both arguments had merit. Kondo had likely seen this as well, and he chose to end things before it got... unpleasant.
If you insist, Kondo.
Sando. My ship. It will sail one day. Sanon's face betrayed nothing of what he might be thinking, even when the corner of his mouth quirked up into the beginning of a smile. He bowed quietly and left as swiftly as he arrived.
So, how did the exams go?
Ah, yes. About that. This sure is a headache.
What? Why is that?
What do you mean, why? The amount of injured and sick warriors is nearly a third of your force.
What?
Impossible!
It is not only possible, Kondo, it is the truth. What have you been doing to these poor men? Cuts, lacerations, bowel pain. This entire place is lousy with, well, lice, for one.
Seriously? I'm so embarrassed to hear this. I never would have imagined.
First, you need to set aside a room dedicated to medical care. Sick men can be sent there. Second, you need to clean this place up. Otherwise, I won't be able to help you.
Understood. I'll get to it this instant.